Hi everyone, it's Katie here, and it's been a little while since I've uploaded anything, but life has got in the way and been busy. Anyway, today I'm going to be processing the Clamshell Nebula. Last week, or at the beginning of the week, we had a couple of days where we had some clear sky. Astronomical darkness is now back in Scotland, and we got around 7.5 hours, and I managed to shoot over that period of time. And as the weeks and months go on, hopefully we'll get a run of clear nights, and in Scotland that can be towards the winter, like 14-15 hours of darkness, so fingers crossed. Anyway, we'll get on with the processing of the clamshell, and here are the images. This is the data. It's 7 hours. Just going to tile these. It's 7 hours of imaging in SHO with the Skywatcher 72ED and the ZWO 2600 Pro mono camera. So as you can also see here, HA is always the strongest, and the S2 I managed to get some on it, but very little in the O3. But we can only work with what we've got, so I'm going to try and pull out as much as I can in this data. Okay, and normally I would work with generalized hyperbolic stretching, but I know that there's a few of my friends out there don't use this yet, so I'm going to probably use the Arcsinh stretch instead. So if you want to follow along with this, fantastic. So let's start. As you can see here, it's quite noisy, and I will reduce the noise, but I'm not going to do that right now. I'm just wondering if I want to crop it or not. I don't think I do, because I'm actually okay with the way things are. The same with the Blur X. I don't think I'll use that because my stars are very small and very sharp, and round. So I'm not going to use those two things. On other targets I probably would, but on this particular one I'm quite happy. As you can see, it's a star-enriched field, so we'll probably take out some of those stars in order to see the nebula. So first what I'm going to do is, go into the window and cascade these again. And I am going to combine these channels. Okay, so let's go in and we'll combine these. And as you can see, I was working on this before doing a little taster video. So we'll just go ahead and bring up that image, and I think what I'll do is put these away. I like to keep a clean desk. I'll just put them in here for the time being, and we'll give this a temporary stretch, and here's what it looks like. Not very pretty, huh? But it is what it is. So first what I'm going to do is, let's see here. As I say, there is quite a bit of noise in there, but I really don't want to do that at the moment because we're going to do some stretching. So what we will do is we will take off the stretch. If I hit the right button, it would be a lot better. And we are going to go into our arcs. No, actually, I take that back. I take it back. What I am going to do is take the stars out. That is what I'm going to do. Now, normally, I would use Star Exterminator, but I'm on my PC and there's a heck of a lot on this PC, so everything's kind of slowed down and sluggish. I will be upgrading and getting one with a lot more speed and memory on it in the coming new year. So, with that said, I'm going to go old school here and do a clone for Starless, because I always like playing with the clone rather than the actual image. Everybody's got their own workflow. You don't have to do what I do. Okay, this is just me being me. And I will stretch that. And I'll go into StarNet. Now, we are still in our linear mode, so I'm keeping this box ticked. And I'll do that. And we'll go to there. And we'll start taking the stars out. Once the stars are out, then I'll go into Arcsinh. A lot of people do it with the stars in, but I'm happy enough to just take them out at this point and just work on the actual nebula. Okay. So we're almost there, folks. And there we have our stars. And we'll fix them as well. So I'm just going to put that down there for the time being. And there is the nebula. And we will fix all these colours. Okay. But as I was saying earlier, I'm going to go in and do an Arcsinh stretch. And I'm taking the temporary stretch off. I'll go into processes, all processes, and if you just go down here, there it is, the Arcsinh stretch. Everybody has this, whereas not a lot of people have got all these. I don't use all these icons. I'm just too lazy to do another list of the ones I do use regularly. So don't be put off by that. Okay. Now, as I said earlier, not a lot of people use generalized hyperbolic stretch. It does take a bit getting to know, but once you do know a wee bit about it, it's such a powerful tool. But so is this, and that's why I'm using this. So I'm going to bring up my preview window. Actually, let's start again. Okay, I'm going to do that again. Process all processes and Arcsinh stretch and preview window, and I'm going to say estimate the black point, which it has done, and next I'm going to say protect the highlights. Okay, and then I am going to stretch this image and bring it up a bit. And I'm not going to go too far because it will start overstretching. So for instance, if I go like this, yeah, but to me that's just a little bit too much. So let's go here, and I have some clipped edges down here, so we'll take them out as well. Okay, and I am going to apply this to the image itself. And once that's done that, I'll reset, and we'll take this down and get rid of that preview window. Now, don't worry, I am going to take all of this out. that is all going to go. And what I will do is go to Script and into Utilities and correct magenta stars. And we'll execute, and that should take that magenta away, which it has. So there we are, fantastic. Now we can just work on the nebula itself. So I think what we'll do is a bit of noise reduction here, folks. Not as much as 90. I'm going to take it down to about 66 and let that do its thing. And while that's doing that, I'll pause and come back when it's done. And we're back again, and there we go. And let's just have a little look in here. And that's taking the noise out, and it's done a really good job, to be honest. So now we'll try and get rid of all this green. And there's a few ways people do this. I can go in through my histogram and play with the channels there. I use masks, the ones from Bill Blanchard. I use them. And if you don't have them, you can do range masks and do the same thing. Okay, but I am going to use the Bill Blanchard icons, and that is the modified SCNR, and that will tone that down and bring out those blues and yellows. Okay, just waiting for that to finish. And there we are, not too long. And I'm just going to show you what's in there. So we'll bring that preview window over. If we go into saturation and bring that up, just even the slightest bit, you can see if I go all the way, but we're just going to pop that up just, let's see, just a little. You don't need a lot. And we'll accept that. And this is when we start using our masks. And I am, let's see, I'm going to go in with a red mask. Even though that's yellow, I'm going to bring out that coppery, golden, brownish colour that you seen on my image earlier. Oh, I had a bug on my screen. Now it's gone. Okay. Finally. And I'm just going to put a blur on this because it is quite sharp and roughish. Okay, take that, put it down, and we will drag and drop that onto our image here. And we will hide that mask, and we will bring up our curves transformation again and our preview window, and we're going to go into the red tab. And I'm just going to start pushing this up, and I don't want to overkill, so I'm going to be careful and just gently pull this up in a few stretches. Because I don't have a lot of integration time on it, if I start overstretching it, it's just going to ruin the image, and I really don't want to do that. So there we are. And that's just a couple of stretches so far. Just that little bit there. Now, I'm a great one for playing with tabs and colour palettes. I don't always stick with SHO. It's whatever takes my fancy at the time. I always say it, don't be a sheep, be a shepherd. Do as you please. Now I'm just going to bring that little bit of yellow back out in the core here and along here. And just ever so gently. Okay, and we'll take these off, and we'll take that mask off as well. And let's have a look. Yeah, it's not bringing in any noise at this point. Now, what I want to do is show you this. If you go into process, all processes, and narrowband normalization, if you don't know this already, we'll reset it. When you bring up your preview window, it always comes up with HOO palette, which is great if you're working in HOO, but we're working in SHO. So I just wanted to show you, here's what you can do. It allows you to boost your O3 and S2. I don't have a lot of S2 and O3, so I'm just going to boost them up just a little to let you see. Now, if you go whole hog, if you like that, that's fine. It's not for me. I'll reset that and go back in. And I want to bring out a little bit more of that O3. Forced O3 because I don't have that much. And let's try again. I don't know if I like that or not. I think we'll stick with that. Just having that little bit of blue in there. Reset, take that off, take the preview window off, and at least now we've got some blue that we can play with. In the meantime, I am going to put a yellow mask on. And this is where I hope to get that bronzy, browny, gold colour. And I'm going to soften that, put a blur on it, and drag and drop. And once again, curves. And we are going to the red tab and start bringing that up a bit. And if we go into our green tab, we can lift the yellow up a bit more. Okay. And let's see. I think we'll go into RGBK. Let's see. No, I don't want to go that bright either. So it's just finding that balance that you like. Definitely not. So let's go with that. Okay. And as I say, we have got all this blue here. I'm going to take that off. And I'm going to do this. I'm going to put a range mask on, okay? So I'm going to go down to mask generation, range selection, make sure everything's reset, bring up your preview window. I feel like this is cheating in a way, but you do what you want, it's your image. And I want to bring in, let's see, it's just too much. We'll do, oops, no, we'll not do that. We'll do that, and we will apply that. And we'll take the preview off, and here is our range mask. And I'm going to drag and drop it on our image, and we'll do a curves transformation, and I'll just enlarge this so that you can see. Okay, and here's the preview, and I'm going to go into the red tab, and I'm just, oh, where's my, just want to see my histogram peak, and here we go. You could go crazy and just destroy your image. All I want to do is add just a bit of colour. Okay. And let me see. Don't want it to be purple. That's for sure. So it's just that fine balance that you're looking for. Going with that. And once again, as I say, I like to play with the different tabs. I'm going to pull this off. No. And then back into the red tab again. And actually, let me see. If I do that there and pull that down here. Okay. Just waiting. And there we go. Just as well I'm not in a hurry, eh, folks? And let's see if we do the saturation slider. Is that going to make a difference? Oh, it would help if I put a preview window up. Duh. Oh gosh, that's just a bit too in your face. Oh jeez. I'm glad yous folks aren't in a hurry. At least yous can fast forward. Okay. Now, I'll take the mask off. And I'm going to put another preview up, but this time I'm going to look at my histogram, okay, and let's see, and it's not too bad actually. I'm going to the red. It would help if I did this. I swear to God, I'm losing my marbles. And as I say, it's all about balance. What do you want from your image? You know, do you want it deep? Do you want it bright? Do you want it dark? It's entirely up to you. Okay, and now for the blue. And all I'm doing is bringing back our background here. That is all I'm doing. And let's see if we get into RGBK. We can do something like that if you want to make the core pop and stand out. Entirely up to yourself. I'm just doing my thing. And we will take that off. And let's have a little look. And there's some noise there, but very little. And as you can see here, we have some bulk globules. If I get more integration time on this, these will stand out more, you know, and the detail all around here and all around there would be fantastic. And I am going to reduce that again. Now I'll get rid of this. I'm going to put the curves up again. Everything's all curves. That's what it all comes down to. RGBK. And let's see. And that's me just raising this middle core area just to give it some contrast and definition. Don't go crazy like that. Just little bits, little stretches, moderation. That's what it all comes down to. And once again, that's actually looking not too bad at all. And next, what I would want to do is I want to sharpen and see if I can bring out this area just a little bit more. So I'm going to go into Script, down to Utilities, and the Advanced Sharpening tool. And I am not going to do 40, I am going to take that down to 30 and see if that sharpens that area up a little bit more. And at present it's just running a mask over it. And when that's done, I'll have a look. So, here it is after. Let's see the before. Now, I'll zoom in a bit more. So it's quite soft. And there's the after. Before, after. So it did bring that out a bit. And the same up here. It's defining these areas a bit more. And next what I would do is we have these lovely dark dust lanes and I want to emphasize them a bit more, so I'm going to go up to Script again, Utilities, and I am going to do Dark Structure Enhance, and I'll just leave it at the defaults. I like to have my coffee. Anyone that knows me knows I'm a coffeeholic. So we're just about done. And there we are. And you can actually see the difference. And what I'll do is the before. There's the before. could see the dark dust lanes, but they're a bit on the soft side after they stand out. And there you have it. So last thing I would do, you can either do maybe another RGBK curves transform, go up to the highlighted areas up here and just a gentle, just a gentle nudge and no more. And what I might actually do here is do another range mask for this area. I feel as if the highlights are really blowing, you know, so let's do that. Range mask, reset, and we'll put our preview window up, and we just want that area there. That is all. And I'm going to smooth that to 100. And we'll get rid of that and the preview. And we'll drag and drop. And then bring our curves back up with our preview window. And it's this area here. I want to bring it down because look, it is pretty high up. So I'm going to just take that down a bit. Okay. And I'm going to take into the green tab. And I just want to bring out that yellow a bit more, but not as bright as that. So let's see. Just enough to show that there is some yellow in there, and I think that's okay. And there you have it, folks. All we have left to do now is put our stars in. Now oops, wait to take that. Sorry, I need to take that mask off. And our stars are still in their linear mode. And what I'm going to do is, once again, go into Script and down to SETI Astro, and I'm going to do a star stretch. That'll stretch the image and it'll take it out of its linear stage and make it non-linear. And here is our stars. They're still nice and small and sharp and round, and some of our RGB colours are in there with them. So let's see if I go into Pixel Math. And I'm going to click create a new image. The reason I do that is if I don't like the finished article, at least I can go back in and play with the starless image and still have my star mask. So it's starless, +, star mask, and we'll OK that. And here is our finished product. Come on, I'll enlarge that. And there you have it, folks. As I say, the stars are still nice and small and round, and I've got some lovely yellow stars in there, some blue stars down here as well. So I'm actually quite happy with the finished product. I don't know about yous. Now another thing you could do before I go, if for instance you wanted a nice smooth image rather than a rough looking image, one, you can go in and do more noise reduction. And another thing you can do is go into convolute. I think it's the convolution. I think it is, yeah. And we will bring up our preview, and this is just to show you, if you don't already use this, you can, let me just zoom in on an area here. You can soften your image by putting a blur, like a Gaussian blur or Gaussian blur, whatever way you want to say it. And you can add as much or as little as you want and have a nicer, softer image. But if you do that, I would suggest doing it before you put your stars back in. Okay. And yeah, I'm just trying, oh god, no, that's just a wee bit too much fuzz for me. A wee bit too soft. But it just shows you there's all these things that you can do that normally I would do in Photoshop. So it is there for you. And I'm going to put that back in there just to see. I like mucking about with things just to see what they do. And let's go. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to leave the image the way I finished it off. I'm happy with that. I really am. As I say, everything's the way I did it the first time around. Apart from I took it into Photoshop and softened it a bit with texture. So I hope this was informative and useful for you guys. As always, if you want, you can leave me a comment or some constructive critique, whatever. Anything you say, I'll take it on board. And till the next time, bye bye everyone.